Okay, I want to go over something with you guys really quick.
Okay.
Jumanji remake starring The Rock. Go.
The only reason why it's happening is because The Rock's in it.
Jumanji wasn't even a good movie back in the 90s. Correct me if I'm wrong. It was a terrible movie. I mean, what they're trying to do is bring a Hasbro game to the big screen. And as you're going along the board, you know, the things come alive, and you can't end the game. You have to play the game or continue playing it to win the game.
Does that mean Jumanji is going to show up alongside of G.I. Joe and the Visionaries and Mask?
There you go. There you go.
No, that's how they're going to connect the universes. Somebody's going to pull a Mask card, and then or the Visionaries card, and they're going to get, you know, warped into the past, or the Visionaries are all going to show up.
In the jungle, you will wait until someone rolls a 5 or an 8.
Yep, I remember that.
This motherfucker got transported.
Yeah.
Transported. It's just a fucking game.
It was a novel idea. It's a novel movie. I just don't see the purpose of bringing it back just because The Rock is in it. And you know, I read somewhere talking about The Rock will make sure that they don't mess it up, or he won't mess it up, or I read that somewhere online. I was like, I just rolled my eyes.
Doesn't he say that with every movie, though?
Yeah.
Wait, didn't he make Doom?
No, he was in it. He wasn't. Remember, he wasn't the main.
Oh, okay,
he was
fine. He didn't make it, but he was in it.
Yeah.
Wasn't he the main star?
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't the main guy, but, you know, yeah, Doom was, you know, the funny thing about Doom is that it pretty much became Hardcore Harry.
Hardcore Harry, yeah.
Yep.
Basically.
I didn't think about that. Yeah.
It's funny because speaking of Hardcore Henry, you got motherfuckers that didn't get it, and yet they complain about it. They didn't get the retro. That's like, okay, I think it was I forgot who it exactly was, but I think it was the Young Turks.
Okay.
Now, look, if you don't understand something, if you don't get something, then you can't attack it because of that. You have to understand that it was in first-person view to actually have you a part of what was going on. It was good for what it was worth.
What really pissed me off was the backlash that movie got, because people went in there and I don't know what they were expecting. I mean, again, it's the same thing that people are attacking things they have no business attacking, and they're attacking things that they have no business or that have no interest in watching it. So why are you going to attack something? You know, it just goes like the same thing with the social justice warriors and the video games. You have no desire to play this game, none. But you're going to attack it because you don't want anybody else to have it. And that movie has got attacked because of that. And, you know, come on. I mean, what were you expecting? It's a first person. Come on. I mean, I thought it was a unique. I thought it was a unique movie. You know, I mean, I haven't. You know, it's just I don't understand all the hate. I mean, you're hating on something. You know, I'm sorry. Let me get off my soapbox. It just pisses me off that people have. You know, the people. I mean, you have the right to criticize anything you want. You do. But when you close down your arguments and it's your way, your point of view, or no point of view, and you shut yourself down to everybody else's criticism, and you don't accept any criticism, you know, you're wrong.
The
you know,
problem that I have with them, with anyone criticizing something, is if they have a closed mind.
Yeah, exactly.
When you don't open your mind to realize why something is happening a certain way, then it's like, okay, and you're not even willing to let an explanation in your mind to understand it. That's where I start to have an issue with the people that are currently discussing it. I mean, if someone all right, if you're gonna describe a movie to me, and I'm like, okay, fine, this is this, you know, and you explain how the movie goes and the characters and stuff like that. Okay, why are they doing this? Why are they here? How did we get here? And how did it end? And so on and so forth. The only way that you can tear a movie apart from a merit standpoint is if something happens or you have shit that doesn't make any sense.
Disconnection.
Whatsoever. For example, vampires sparkling in sunlight. I'm sorry.
Vampires having.
Nothing can connect me after that. You just can't. Unless there was a ultimate explanation. Even Blade, the Daywalker, didn't sparkle because I would give him away. I couldn't imagine that dark motherfucker sparkling anyway. But it's just the point that if a plot of a movie, or even if it's shown in certain perspective, if the acting wasn't bad, if the action wasn't that bad, if you couldn't see directly through the CG, if you couldn't see directly through the choreographed action scenes or the fake acting or the monotone or anything like that, then judge the movie as far as how it was presented in front of you. But like I said, if there was a disconnection, or like if there's a car chase and it's like, wait a second, if you point out something that's totally fucked up or that's wrong, then I will understand and I will deal with that. But just attacking it because of the perspective of how the movie was shown to you, I mean, it wasn't like Cloverfield where everything was bouncy and shaky and nauseating everybody in the theater. This movie was actually pretty fucking stable. So they were judging it as far as saying, oh, is this a video game type of movie? And it's like, okay, that's the way it was supposed to be.
The movie it's a big experiment, pretty much, is what it is. And it's just like a lot of other movies. It's like once you sit there, you go in there, you're like, okay, I have to turn my brain off to go ahead and be able to sit down and go through this. If I actually sit down and try to question everything or try to pick it apart, there's going to be way too much here for me to take notice of before, in order, that's going to prevent me from being entertained. That's how that is. I would never go to the Young Turks for reviews on fucking movies. I mean, I'm not
sure if it was them. I'm not sure if it was the Young Turks. I think it was somebody else.
Yeah, but the thing about it is that there are other things about that movie that make it actually pretty amazing as far as a technical marvel, because it was shot. Basically they attached your standard GoPro. What was it? The GoPro 12s that you could buy from fucking Best Buy for $140 a piece. And they went ahead, they had 12 different fucking stuntmen act as Henry, attached with GoPros, and then they filmed the whole fucking movie. Majority of the stunts that they do are all practical effects stunts actually done by stuntmen. So there's actually very little CG involved with a lot of the stunts they do. So, which makes it pretty impressive on that end. But am I going to sit there and I'm going to watch it to sit there and have some sort of epiphany about the human fucking condition? No, that's not a fucking story. All right,
It's just that, what gets me and what really kills me is the critics, I mean, I understand what the thing's saying, that if it takes you completely out of the movie, that's understandable. And then I understand what you said, the Reverend, I mean, you could sit in a movie with your brain turned off, like you like to say, and just accept the movie as face value, not meaning it's just a movie. The point of the movie is to entertain. Aren't all movies though, right? But if the movie, I mean, if you're entertained, even though there's disconnections, I think there was one, what was it? Fast and the Fury, what, 8 or 7 or whatever?
6.
6, the one that they jumped across the top of the cars on the highway.
Theory said that he was in the theater with his girl and watching it, and that part had happened. And he said that everyone in the theater was like, bullshit. He said that men and women alike were in the theater. No one was cheering. Everybody was like either, oh, or they were like, that's bullshit.
Yeah. You know, I mean, I kind of like the way the Reverend said that, you know, sometimes turn your brain off and just enjoy what's presented on the screen.
Sometimes you can't.
Yeah, sometimes I can't. Look. I mean, here's the thing. Okay, if I decide that I'm going to sit there and actually go out of my way to watch a movie, you know, and there's going to be it's kind of like watching pro wrestling. There's going to be a little suspension of belief. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. I understand these guys are all professional. No, they don't hate each other in real life. In fact, they're probably going to go out for beers later. All right, if they can even walk around. But you know, there's going to be some suspension of belief. But if even after turning my brain off and jumping onto that bridge, you know, where I've got that suspension of belief, and the movie is still so bad that it still makes me feel dumber every second I continue watching it, then yeah, that's.
Of course, it comes. Of course, there's a degree of how much you can turn your brain off. I mean,
for instance,
you have to stand up and walk out of a movie theater.
Yeah,
you know, when it gets to that point.
Hey, look, the movies. Look, Batman and Robin. I walked out of that theater. I walked out of that movie. I couldn't. When they said Barbara was Alfred's niece, I mean, my popcorn was full, and I'm like, I'm done. Because I said it out loud. I was like, what? And I got up and I left. There was that disconnect. There was no way back from that disconnection.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is that that's probably not even the worst thing that film does.
I didn't see the rest of the thing about it is George Clooney didn't bother me. Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze didn't bother me. But you put this character nowhere near where she was supposed to be as far as relation. That fucked with me. That bothered me. And I was like, I'm out. I don't even know what happened in the movie after that. The movie could have sucked. It could have been great. I will never fucking know.
No, it sucked. It sucked so badly that it pretty much killed the superhero genre until Blade sucked it back into resuscitated some vampire life into it. Even then, it had to hide out as a vampire. It couldn't be a superhero movie.
A lot of people didn't know that Blade was actually a comic book, but that's good.
Well, it said Marvel in the opening credits. They just didn't do the red Marvel thing.
Well, that came later.
Yeah. But yeah. I mean, like I said, when you get disconnected at that degree, I was like, nope, I'm out. And there's only been a handful of movies that I either stopped watching or just got up and walked away from, never to fucking return.
To bring it full circle again, we always get off track. With The Rock starring in Jumanji, quite frankly, I didn't enjoy the first one in the 90s, so I don't think I'm going to enjoy this one.
You're going to see it?
Huh?
You're going to see it?
I have no plans to. I mean, if you guys end up going seeing it, I'd see it just tear it apart, pretty much like.
So it's basically another live-action Jungle Book with a fucking game board.
No, here's the thing. He's supposed to be doing the that one other fucking live-action Disney one, the Jungle Boat ride or whatever it is. The Jungle Cruise, yeah. You heard about that?
No.
Yeah, they're gonna make another live action movie out of a Disney ride, and he's slated to go ahead and be in it. Yeah.
No. No. No, man. Oh,
Let's see here.
I'm trying to get past that, and I can't.
Now let's see here. What is it?
Yeah, about the hardcore Henry thing, it was those fuckers at the Young Turks.
It was.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then you had a female on there that was talking about misogyny in that movie.
Yeah, the whole movie was misogynistic.
How?
I don't know.
Oh, it's because the main character is trying to save his wife, and she's a damsel in distress.
So?
And if it's a video game, if you follow, and she obviously subscribes to Jokes versus Women in video games. That was the first fucking video that was put out.
But objection. This is the part that I don't understand about that. So what about other movies that subscribe to that shit that these ladies like? Even Twilight falls into that category.
With the stalker vampires? With the stalker vampires?
Again.
Oh, but they don't mention that. I've never heard Twilight mention in their narrative about being misogynistic.
Well, because other men don't sparkle in sunlight when they go save their damsels. That's why.
And the main character,
except for Mario when he gets a star.
And the main character is female.
See, I don't even know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that either. I thought the main character was just sparkly vampires and werewolves fighting over this girl. That's what I thought.
Yeah, the main character is the girl.
Dean, you know more than I do.
And now, wait a minute. The only reason why I even know that is because you got commercials plastered everywhere about it.
What about the what is it called? 30 Shades of Grey or whatever? All that bullshit.
50 Shades of Grey.
Whatever. Why is that misogyny?
Oh no! There were
they attacked that one too.
Huh?
They attacked that one too.
They attacked that one. The Fema ISIS, yeah, they attacked that one. Social justice ISIS, yeah, they went after that. They were trying to say that yes, that promotes rape culture and and abuse to women.
Yep.
They did that.
Never mind the fact that it was pretty much Pulp Fiction for chicks.
Oh, women.
You know,
That's
yeah.
actually what it was, yeah.
Yeah. Jeez, man.
Yeah, ridiculous, right? It's just set up and watch the damn movie or don't watch the damn movie. Shut up and play the game or turn the game off. If it's entertaining to you, fine, by all means. Look, doesn't mean that's going to be entertaining to me, but if it's entertaining to you, fine. Yeah, I'm not going to tell anyone what to spend their money on or what to enjoy or what they can't enjoy. Hey, we all got our different tastes and so on and so forth. But,
But the thing is, though, you're not saying that it doesn't have the right to exist. All these movies we mentioned, they have the right to exist.
Oh, they have a right to be there.
We mentioned, they have the right to exist. All these books, they have the right to exist.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, if this is what I don't understand. Let's make everything accountable. If you're going to attack a certain type of genre, but this is almost just the same, then you're going to have to bring all of that into light, and you're going to have to go after all that's related or all that's in common or all that's there. You just can't focus on one side, and that's what pisses me off about these people. And it's like you're attacking entertainment. And whether if it's entertaining or not, it's going to be up to the actual people.
Well, what kills me too is they falsify all these fucking quote unquote studies saying that violence that violence brings violent video games, violent movies. I mean,
There has
violence
been no proof of that.
violence has been around ever since humans have been around. So and if you watch really old movies, it's I just don't understand that they're saying how that people that play violent video games or watch violent movies or whatever will go out and kill or rape or whatever people that there's no study that substantiates that at all. All that is a bunch of propaganda bullshit that gets spewed out from these feminists and these social justice warriors. And
you basically hit the nail on the head right there. And academics, they're getting sick of it. They're getting sick of being brought toward. It's like, look, we've been at this for 30 years. And
the fact, I saw that video about the dean of students told these other students, if you're here after 5 o'clock, just because you feel like you can protest, yeah, you can protest, but then you got to realize that there are faculty that are here that needs to be protected just as well as you need to be protected. And if you're here after 5 o'clock, you're going to get arrested and expelled from the school. And that, to me, that's a positive light, to show that you can't use these colleges as a petri dish for bullshit, to grow your bullshit ideology, because what you're doing is you're crippling these kids. You're crippling them.
These college students are not going to be ready for the real world. Once they get done with that, they're going to go out to the real world, and then they're not going to be able to cope with reality. Mm-hmm. It's going to bite them all up in their ass, and they just don't understand that, look, yeah, hard work and merit matters here.
And the fact that
lack thereof.
You got these colleges that are losing money for enrollment. Who the fuck wants to go to a college where, all this unrest, all the social unrest,
Mm-hmm.
like that Click lady, whatever her name is.
Melissa Click.
Yeah, who the fuck wants to go to that school? I don't. I'm not going to enroll to go to that school.
Well,
are you crazy?
Well, here's one thing that I think that employers are going to start doing, and it would be perfectly legal for them to do this. If they were to look at an application or a qualification and be like, wait a minute, oh no, you went to that college? Oh no, I don't want anyone from that college working here because of what they're going to bring.
Yep.
No, this is not discriminating towards sex or race. No, this is discriminating because of your attitude,
your ideology.
You're going to bring attitude, and we don't want it here. We don't welcome that here. That's not what this job is all about.
What's going to start happening too, I think it's going to start happening at the college level, at the entrance level to college, that these colleges are going to start screening Facebook and all this other stuff and find out what activist groups they're a part of.
It's funny.
And I'm sorry, you're not, because from what I understand is that you have to apply for a college and the college has to accept you to go to their college. And if they do a real quick search on Facebook or YouTube,
they won't do that.
Huh?
They won't do that. You got to understand. You got to understand. The state colleges and the state universities exist through state and federal subsidies. All right, mm-hmm. Which are built off of the attendance numbers of students. Okay. Now, whether or not those students are going to go ahead and end up being $50, $100, $200, $300,000 in debt after they finish their supposed tenure there and walk out with their life in front of them, all right, it doesn't matter. The thing about it is that they don't get paid that federal money if they don't have that enrollment list filled up. So they're not going to sit there and turn around and be discriminated about that.
Well, no, I'm not talking about state. I'm talking about the Ivy League kind.
You gotta they're just as bad. They get here's the thing about it. There is no higher education out there where you have any of the students pay their own way.
Right.
All right. None at all. Okay. Granted, they're going to end up in debt at the end of everything, but there is no higher learning education out there, situation out there that's not going to sit there and where students pay their own way. The other thing too about the hallowed halls of academia is that those are also the centers of research for a lot of them. And they're not going to sit there and fund a research program if they have no students for that fucking program. All right, that's the thing. There is not a college or a fucking excuse me. There is only a very, very small percentage of colleges, universities, or state or federally funded schools out there that are gonna be willing to go out of their way to pre-screen students on a merit or social level and refuse them entry and enrollment.
Yeah,
well, the reason why I'm saying this, I understand exactly what you're saying. You're absolutely correct. But when it comes to a point to where the state college or the Ivy League college is losing money on it for see, I don't lost my whole entrance, and that's happening already. That nobody wants to enroll into this college because of the unrest is the word I was looking for.
Let me just say
happening at the college.
Let me just say this. Most of these motherfuckers are not getting in because of their high grades from their GPAs in high school. These people are just going to college and, they're getting grants or whatever, and then they're actually entering through college. And
a lot of them are there because their parents would kick them out of the fucking house otherwise if they didn't go.
Exactly. These are not motherfuckers that actually had the ambition to go and learn shit. These are the motherfuckers. These are the motherfuckers that got enrolled into college and tried to learn the easiest shit as possible.
What's going to happen is that they're going to realize that a degree in ginger studies or social
studies, red hair people,
ginger studies, it's not going to do any good in the real world.
Well, wait. Again, there's a lot of studies out there that don't do good in the real world now. Why the fuck? Okay.
From what I understand is, I thought college.
Wait, go ahead.
What was that?
No, what I was saying was I thought colleges were there to prepare people for the real world. For when you step out, you don't get eaten up.
But
that's not.
No, that hasn't been the case since the 70s.
Right.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's the point that I'm making is that. So now you got all these graduates with these pieces of paper. Yeah, you got a degree in social justice or whatever.
Wait a minute. A lot of this shit, and that's the dumb kids' fault. Look, you can't hold the colleges accountable for shit.
No, I'm not. No, you're misunderstanding what I'm saying.
No, I'm not misunderstanding you, but I'm just saying that you can't look. And I understand exactly what you're saying, Reynolds. These kids are studying shit that's not going to matter once they get out. But the reason why the shit's there in the first place is because the kids are choosing to study.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it shouldn't be there in the first. That shouldn't even be an option to study, is what I'm saying.
I concur. I concur with that. And I was going to lead up to that too, because it's like that shit shouldn't be there. It's like, all right, wait. For that to be there in the first place, but again, you have these children. They're still children here. They haven't grown up. They haven't matured. They haven't been through shit in real life. They look at that and they think that, okay, this is the easiest shit possible. And I really am passionate about social justice. I'm really passionate about, learning that type of shit. They don't understand that there's nothing for them out in the real world that will sustain them.
If the state and the government who sets up all these higher learning facilities and everything else, were really concerned about equipping young people with a way to go ahead and handle their lives once they get out of high school and everything, they would have never gotten rid of vocational high schools. That's just how that goes. You know, they wouldn't, this bullshit that teachers feed to kids from fucking kindergarten on up. You got to do well. This is going to go on your permanent record. It's going to affect the type of college that you go to. Well, guess what? Little fucking Johnny or Susie, if he can't fucking tie his shoes, maybe he shouldn't be going to fucking college. All right?
No.
I don't know. Maybe you could teach him how to fucking operate a jackhammer. That'll still give him a way to go ahead and fucking provide for his family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? And then that way he doesn't have to sit there and end up with some bullshit degree and complain about how he's not making $15 an hour, fucking minimum wage, working at fucking Starbucks or some bullshit like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's, I mean, it really should be, it should be against the law, more or less, for teachers to fill these kids' minds up with all that social justice bullshit. You're not teaching the physical sciences. You're not teaching mathematics. You're not teaching, things that could help.
See, here's the difficult part.
Instead, you're teaching these kids stuff that don't really even matter at all, and you're not teaching them. You're teaching them an ideology, teaching them religion or something.
Well, here's the difficult part about that. As far as social justice goes, and as far as, they try to teach that all of everything that's holding people down is systemic. And regardless of what they may say, it's not systemic. It's principles. It's basically ideas. There's nothing systemic about holding anyone back because merit and hard work and integrity fucking still exists. It matters. It's actually out there that actually determines success.
Yeah.
They're trying to, if you're gonna throw that out the fucking window, then what about everybody else that's worked hard and is successful before you?
No, it doesn't matter because they want to get to your level like you said before, the easiest and quickest way. They don't want to go through the hardships. Basically, they don't want to go through the labor pains. They just want the baby.
No. Here's
you know what I mean? No. Think about that. It's serious. They don't want the labor pains. They just want the results. They just want the baby.
Some people don't even want to fuck to get it.
No. Look, and on top of that, if you happen to actually exist in a nuclear family with a mother and a father around, you're automatically advantaged, and that's a form of privilege. All right. In fact, going out of your way and actually making an effort to
according to them,
and be able to have a grasp of complete grammar and everything is fucking racist. Did you see that?
Yes, that's something I forgot. Look. The only person in this room here is privileged is me, according to them.